First met Justin when I unfortunately lost my son in a car accident last year. We come together and Justin suggested, I suggested to him actually first that we'd do a clip in honour of Coen.
And this is where it all kind of started between Mark and I shooting his film clips, because I sort of said, look, it's actually not that hard to do what you want to do. You know, we'll go down early in the morning, down to the beach, sit on the rock that you want to sit on, and we'll shoot it properly, and you know, with the sun rising up behind and all that sort of thing. And you know, for something that had absolutely no planning, we actually had a really nice looking film clip.
And I had a little concept where we were to sit in front of an ochre wall down at Cabbage Tree Bay, but Justin took it much further than that, which was really great. I could never imagine my little concept that I told him about could be worked into something like it was.
And I think once we did that, Mark sort of realised that it wasn't impossible for someone else to actually see what he had envisaged and actually, you know, put that into film. So it really started a roller coaster of work between Mark and myself after that one little, you know, idea. Let's just go down to the beach and shoot something and we'll see how it goes, sort of thing.
We got together and shot a song called Rack It Up and Let It Roll off my current album, Sugar Baby. I gave him another concept, of course, and just sort of had a bit of an idea, and Justin's ability to take it to the next level and the level beyond that was extraordinary.
The Rack It Up, Let It Roll clip was a lot of fun actually, and when Mark came to me with the idea, I really liked it. I really liked he basically said to me, look, I want to do a film clip that kind of exposes the Rothschilds, which are kind of the elites that you know, in this kind of unusual mythological way kind of run the world with just a ridiculous amount of money and power and so forth. And Mark sort of said to me, look, I'd love for them to be playing chess with real people, and then that has real effects on the world.
Working on that film set was quite good, because I did get to show a little bit of my skill set a little bit more. Showed people how to lift people safely, and then I got to train a couple of people using guns and weapons and stuff like that.
I guess everyone, you know, there's a lot of social media getting around today and stories of the International Monetary Fund. So we thought we'd just put our own spin on it after reading and reading. It was actually the last song written for the album. Finished at 12:30 of the night. I had to go into the studio with the last song for the album, so it was a bit of a rush, but when I sat down and thought about it, I thought, this album needs that. It needs to send a message, I guess, about how we all feel sometimes about that situation.
As far as shooting the chessboard goes, this was actually quite difficult, because not only, what I had to do was I had to light the green screen with 4 lights, and then light the person as if there was a giant television behind them, and they were being lit from the front the same kind of way that the Rothschilds were in the shot. It was actually quite difficult, because I knew that the television would be playing something. I didn't know what at the time, but I knew it would be playing something, and I knew that in my head that I kind of wanted it to be on a bit of maybe a black and white color scheme or something, you know, very, very desaturated. So I got some people to sort of flicker a light behind the person when they were in front of the green screen, just so that the lights on the back of their head were kind of oscillating or flashing. Yeah, looking around at the other chess pieces. That's good, Chad, keep it going. Just turn your head a bit, look around at the other chess pieces. So that when they were in the shot on the actual chessboard and the television was behind them changing shots, the light was actually reacting to the back of their heads. And these are the sort of things that you have to do to make things look more realistic. You know, if we hadn't have done that, it would have looked very stagnant, and it may not have had the same sort of effect. So as far as challenges goes, to make something like that look real, it's very, very difficult, but I think we did it quite well in the end. And you get a little bit startled, Chad's coming towards you. Whoa, whoa, whoa. And hands up. And shoot.
Good death, Jeff, another great death. Once we announced what the video was about, sort of thing, and we put a call out for extras to come along, the response was overwhelming. I guess everyone feels like that now and again, so the help that we had shooting the video was incredible. Lots of people got in and threw their hand up and helped out. Justin arranged his crew, which are absolute professionals. His concept of being able to do something, go, what are you doing this for? You know, like you ask the question all the time, and once you see the end product, it's incredible, the result, yeah.
I think one of the real fundamental things about the Rack It Up, Let It Roll clip is that the message that I got out of what Mark was telling me was that the people kind of have the power, and it's this perceived power that the Rothschild have over everything that we really wanted to say, well, no, money can be powerful, but money is not just, that's not the only power there is. You know, people, there's 7 billion people in the world, we have power, you know, and so the film clip was really about them establishing their dominance with this chessboard of real people. But the film clip ended with the people taking the power. And there's one really cool technique that we use in film, and it's an archetype called the shapeshifter, which was played by Chad. So basically, it's a character that you as an audience, you don't know if you can trust them. And when a point comes in time where they actually change allegiance, and so Chad's motive in the clip at the start is all, you know, he's a soldier, he's being told what to do, and then all of a sudden he has a change of heart because he sees that he's been given the task of going into this crowd and basically mowing the crowd down with a big M4 assault rifle, and he sees this little girl and he realizes that what he's doing is actually, you know, it's not ethically correct, it's not moral. So his morals sort of take over his allegiance to the Rothschild.
I've worked with a lot of filmmakers in the past, where sometimes I wish I had a USB port I could put in my head and give them the stick, and then they'd understand and totally be able to see what I'm talking about. But I feel like I can shut that hole now because working with Justin, he kind of grabbed my idea, my concept, which can be pretty weird sometimes. But he was able to grab my concept and just take it to a whole new level.
Mark is a very strange individual, and I love him to bits. He's got these ideas that are really out of the box, and it's quite confronting actually when he tells you his ideas, because they're so out there. But it's also, as a filmmaker, it's very challenging to say, okay, we can make that work.
So Eternal Love, when Mark had sort of told me the premise of the song, and he gave me the song about a month or two before the clip, and I had a good listen to it, and I was really trying to somehow see what he was seeing, because it was, when he first told me the idea, I thought it was pretty out there. So to prepare for that sort of thing, I really had to listen to it constantly for about a month, and when I finally started to see, not just see it how he wanted it, but see how it was actually going to be achieved in film. The more I listened to it and the more I saw it happening, the more confidence I had to go in to do it. And so Chad and I went down to the actual location on the day, and we spent probably at least 4 hours, I think, just excavating the whole area. Nora Head Sporties were actually kind enough to let us use a little bit of land next to their bowling club, and basically when we got there, it was covered in all these little spinifex plants and weeds and dead trees and dead sticks and so forth, which was, Chad and I looked at it and just said, this is an absolute fire hazard, because we wanted to light little spot fires and so forth. So Chad and I not only had to take away all the dead trees and so forth, we actually had to dig this massive circle of where people were going to be, where the fires were going to be, where the cameras were going to be. We had to dig it all out, take it all away and all. So we were basically looking at this flat mound of dirt that we could actually shoot on.
So who I was in this little film clip, I was the holy man or priest, and what I was doing, I was trying to perform a rite of some sort for a grieving father to make contact with his son who passed away.
It was written by myself and Jake Hunt, my guitarist in the Little Hussies. We just sat on the lounge and Jake played this chord pattern like he's famous for, and all of a sudden the words started to flow, and when they let them flow, you just got to let them flow, you know. And I guess it's part of the grief I'm feeling, the agony I'm feeling, and the loneliness. Once again, I had an idea where I'd be painted white in a grief-type stricken situation with a few monks behind me. That was my idea, you know. I said to Justin, maybe get a rock to come out of my hand, you know, or one to land on my other hand or something like that. But Justin decided to take it, you know, to another level where there was rocks everywhere. And
one thing I was really concerned about actually was the visual effects in Eternal Love, because Mark had you know, told me all these ideas of what he wanted. I'm sort of thinking to myself, okay, how is that going to work, you know? So thankfully I had the foresight to place stones, large stones around the pentagram that he was sitting in, so that when the camera was moving, it could actually plot a 3D, you know, sort of environment. So as the camera's sort of moving and twisting, it's basically seeing this circle of rocks and it's twisting with it and so forth. Because when you think about it, there was no key light, which is the light that we use to light people's faces. There was no key light. All we were using was fire and reflectors to reflect basically two cars with their headlights that were behind everyone. Now the problem with that is that fire, being the main source of key light, was flickering so much that as the camera is moving, the camera can't work out the 3D space because everything's going dark and light too quickly.
In the middle of winter, it was somebody's bright idea to go and make this film clip, and it was very, very cold. All I had was, actually I think all that most people had was like a shirt, some pants, and like the little cloaks, and it was cold. My hands hurt, my knees hurt, my ankles were like just everything. I could have cut diamonds with how hard my nips were, you know?
yeah, I think I was painted at 5:30 and we were there till 1:30. I think I spent 7 hours or something, and something like 5 to 9 degrees in between that, painted white. So I think hypothermia nearly got me, but I just escaped it. But I suggest anyone's going to try that, do it in the summertime, not in the Australian winter.
One funny thing that happened on set, and it happened a couple of times actually, Chad's phone, his message tone is the noise that the Predator makes, you know, in the Predator movies. So like you're out there and it's dark and you can't see much at all, and you're in like trees and so forth, and then someone messages him and all he hears is this noise. And I sort of turned to Chad at one point and said, that's not the sound I want to be hearing while we're out here in the wilderness, dude.
Take this on my own. From the day you left, my heart.
I felt quite humbled by the response that we've received off the video. I never thought it'd affect people like it did, even though I knew it might choke a few people up, and I guess I was thinking only around my family, but the response I've had, everyone's, I had a lady call me crying, you know, people are putting comments like, I haven't had one bad comment about the song or the video. It's just been super positive.
I love working with Mark actually, because as a filmmaker, when I'm filming stuff, I want emotion. I want people to feel emotion when they're watching something. So when I put Mark in front of the camera, I know that I'm going to get a lot of emotion out of him, because everything that he's doing is very personal to him. It's very emotional for him. And so I love the fact that he challenges me as a filmmaker. He's always like, look, I've got this crazy idea, I don't know if it's possible, and I've got to somehow work out how it's going to be possible. But any emotion that he's going to come out with is just going to be absolutely genuine.
Myself,
Yeah, to see my vision come to life the way it did is just, I'm absolutely elated. I never thought it could look anything like this. I'm so impressed. I'm actually blown away when we spoke just Sunday night. I said, how's it going? He said, I'm about to wrap it up. And he sent it through to me, and we just, me and my team, viewed it, because I took up a few opinions, you know what I mean, and we were just blown away. We were just gobsmacked. No one said a word. There was tears everywhere. So when something can affect you like that, I guess you can't get much better than that. I want to thank everyone that was involved, all the staff that come to help. I'm absolutely blown away by your respect in helping me get this done for my son, and to help me to heal, and to help everyone out there in my situation heal. I want to thank everyone that was involved greatly, and also, most of all, thank Justin Banks for shooting and directing a great video that I'll have forever. And I think it was the greatest present that I could ever do for my son Coen. He's an absolute genius drummer on my album. So yeah, thank you once again, everyone.
I can't take this on my own.